Hey, boys and girls, back to go over some more word problems with you guys. This is kind of lesson 18. I know lesson 17 was tricky. Some of you didn't get, you only did the one step instead of the two or the three, and so on. Yeah, these ones today were even harder. And again, I'm not really worried about what the answer is. Obviously, I do care what the answer is, but that's not my main concern, I guess would be a better way to say it. What I care about is how hard you're working and how hard you're trying to get better and better at this, kind of as I talked about in the last video, right? I want to know again, are you like some kids I looked and it says they spent 5 minutes on all three questions? And you're going to see in a minute, this first one is going to take me more than 5 minutes to do. And I did all the workout in a separate piece of paper. It took me a long time to do these couple problems. Okay? It's not something that I want to be quick. Again, I told the kids in my homeroom, I wouldn't have given you just three problems if I wanted you to spend 3 minutes on it. That's not really the point of these. I would rather give you less problems and have you spend like 7 or 8 minutes on each of them. That's how you get better, and that's how you kind of move forward and progress. Right? These are hard problems. And really, the hardest part is more setting it up or figuring out what they want you to do and when. And even as I'll show you, I make little charts, I make little things to get my stuff organized. That's really the important thing about a workflow. Like, what do they want me to do? What's the important information I have? What do I need to figure out? What's the next step after that? What do they actually want for an answer? Those are the things you have to kind of think about as you're going through it. I know it's probably kind of hard to read. I can try to zoom in a little bit. Okay. In 1 year, the factory used 650 meters of cotton. 4,950 fewer meters of silk than cotton. I'm already thinking that means I'm going to be subtracting. And 3,500 fewer meters of wool than silk. So after I figure out silk, I'm then going to subtract again to figure out wool. How many meters in all were used for the three fabrics, or of the three fabrics? Okay? So that in all at the end tells me I'm going to add. So it said 4,950 fewer than whatever cotton is. And once I find silk, I'm going to do 3,500 fewer than whatever the silk was to find wool. Okay, so again, you might just be kind of stuck. And this is just way too much stuff to try to keep in your head. Okay, I'm not saying to be mean or like that you're not smart. Like, this is just way too much information to try to keep in your head. Which ones do we already know for sure? I know it's not as close anymore, but they told me, without me having to really do anything else, that cotton, which I'll just shorten to C here to save space, used exactly 11,650 meters. Okay? I don't have to do any adding or subtracting or multiplying or dividing or whatever to figure out how much cotton they used. They just told me. It says it right here. Okay. Now, the other parts I'm going to have to figure out. One of the common mistakes that I see is kids say, well, it says 4,950, and then it says the word silk. That must be how much silk that they used, and that is not correct here. The amount of silk, we don't know yet, and I'll switch color. I'll make the silk red. We don't know how much silk they used. What we do know is that was 4,950 meters fewer or less than the amount of cotton they used. So I'm going to take the amount of cotton that I have and I'm going to subtract 4,950 meters. Okay, so cotton minus 4,950 will tell me how much silk they used. Okay, and then for wool, kind of similar. Right? I can't figure out how much wool they have or used until I figure out silk. It tells me that 3,500 fewer meters of wool than silk. I don't know how much silk we use yet. I haven't figured that out yet. But I know I'm going to. Okay, sometimes people in a rush and they try to jump ahead and then they go back and forth between this one. Right, take a minute. This is taking me a couple minutes already. I'm just setting the problem up. Some people are already in their mind done with it and obviously did not do very well. Once I know how much silk there is, then I'm going to take 3,500 away from the silk to figure out the wool. Okay, so that's just my what I'm setting up. And then it said at the end, all together. Once I know those three amounts, then I'm going to add cotton, wool, and silk together. That will be the actual answer. And again, it's not just 11,650 plus 4,950 plus 3,500. These are the things I need to use to figure out silk and wool. And I will go set that up in a minute, and I'll show you what I mean. So I know some of you just are going to kind of like refuse to write these out. I don't write these out to make a nice pretty chart or to make it look nice and color coded and all that. I make this just as little hints or notes to myself, because I'm going to use that to figure out my actual answer for silk. I don't know how much silk they used. I'm just kind of backtracking through my own problem. What I do know is that I'm going to eventually subtract 4,950. Again, that's what it says right here. And I'm going to take it away from however much there is in cotton. And cotton I did in black, so I'll switch that as well. Right? And I know how much cotton there was. Whatever the cotton is, I'm going to subtract 4,950. And the cotton was 11,650. These are the things that I want you to be able to do. Just set the problem up. If all of a sudden you make a mistake on 6 times 9, I'm not worried about that today. I'm worried about kind of the process, the thinking that is going into it. Okay? So that's how I would set up. Once I get that answer, that's going to tell me how much silk there is. Then when I know how much silk there is, then I can figure out how much wool there is. Okay? So now we're ready just to do the subtraction. 0 minus 0. I have 0. I give you 0. I still have 0. I have 5. I give you all 5. I again now have 0. So whenever you subtract the same, it stays. I have 6. I want to give you nope, I don't have 9. I have 6. I try to give you 9. I don't have enough. Okay, I'm going to borrow from over here. The 1 goes down 1, and the 6 becomes 16. Now again, if I have 16, I give you 9, I would still have 7 left. Comma helps me keep my place. And now 0 minus 4, I have nothing. I owe you 4. Borrow. 10 minus 4 is 6. Again, this is not the answer to the problem. This is how many meters of silk we need, or were used, excuse me. All right? And I'll set the next one up. And this is why my little chart is so helpful. Again, I have my little chart right there on the page. Right? And I kind of showed you an example of that over here. It's not a waste of time. It's actually going to save me a bunch of time later, because now I don't have to go back and read through the problem again. I already know what they want me to do. I know that the wool is going to be 3,500 less than whatever the silk was. And I just figured out how much the silk was. I'm going to use that answer over here. I just found out that the silk was 6,700. There's another good example where I say I'm not really worried about the actual math. Like, this is pretty easy math. 6,700 minus 3,500. Okay, so it's not like the math is some kind of crazy 5th, 6th, 7th grade math that you don't know how to do. Everyone I've had should be able to do this math problem. I understand that most of you are having trouble getting to this math problem. That's what I keep kind of emphasizing that I want to work on. Not the what 7 minus 5 and 6 minus 3 are. We're kind of past that. We've been doing that for like a week and a half. Okay? The setup, the thinking, the what step would come next. What information do I have? What information do I need? And I couldn't do that until I figured this out. I knew what cotton was, and I could subtract 4,950. I figured out silk, then I could figure out wool by subtracting another 3,500. Yeah, so 0 minus 0, pretty easy. I had nothing, gave you nothing, still got nothing. Oh, I should do that in blue. That's my wool color. Again, had 0, give you 0, still got 0. I have 7, I give you 5. Can I do that? Yes, here I can. I don't have to borrow. I have more than I want to give you. I give you these 5, and I still have 2. Comma is a good placeholder. Now, in the next one, I have 6, and I want to give you 3. Can I do that? Yes. I have more than I was going to give you. Right? I take 3 away, and there's still 3 left. Again, that is still not the answer to my problem. That is how much wool I have. Now I know my 3 amounts. This is now how much cotton we have. We have 11,650. I know how much silk there is, 6,700. And I know how much wool there is, 3,200. Okay, so all of those are meters. And I made a little note to myself. I'm going to add C plus S plus W. I know I went out of order there, but you get the point. Okay, and then the last step is just the adding. 0 plus 0 plus 0, nothing, nothing, and nothing makes more of nothing. I had 5, you give me 0 more, you give me 0 more, I still have 5. 6 plus 7 makes 13. 13 plus 2 makes 15. That means I carry the 1. It goes over to the thousands place. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 6 is 8, plus 3 is 11. And then 1 plus 1 makes 2. What's going to happen is you might watch this on Tuesday or Wednesday, and you go back on your paper. You don't really pay any attention, and you just put this answer in the box. Yeah, like, congratulations. You copied 5 numbers and a comma off the board and put it into a box. Okay? And then we take a test or something. You say, I never learned how to do this. Right? That's more what I am worried about. And this problem just took me about 10 minutes to do. Okay? That's longer than most of you spent on all 3 problems. And I said, the actual math here was not hard. Getting to here, I'm okay if you're stuck. Or you accidentally had 6,800 here, and then that makes then this one off one, and then you added wrong, and this you end up with like 20,550. You end up with 21,450 or 21,560 or whatever. You just made one tiny little mistake along the way. And we can fix that. What I can't fix is I just finished all 3 questions in a minute and a half because I don't even feel like trying. And that's what I'm trying to get rid of. And since there is a nice answer box, so you can actually write this out in a nice sentence. Okay? The factory used 21,550 meters of fabric. I know it was a little tricky because there was the big box which we had just written like done or already showed or whatever, and then on the next page you just put this in a box and there wasn't one. All right, and then I'm going to do one more. I know this has taken a while, but this is worth it because these are hard. Some of you are like, sweet, Mr. Flaherty's giving me all the answers. That's not really what I care about either. Okay, I wanted you to know, again, we're not just taking the 4 numbers that you see in the problem and adding them together. That's what a lot of kids do wrong. They say, every time I've written a word problem, I take this number, this number, this number, and this number, and I add them together. That might have worked in 2nd or 3rd grade, I don't know. In 4th grade, you have to actually read the problem and figure out what they want you to do. I know it's kind of hard to read, so I'll read that quickly. The shop sold 12,789 chocolate and 9,324 cookie dough cones. It sold 1,078 more peanut butter cones than cookie dough cones. So I'm going to skip that for now. I'm going to write down the information that I know for sure without the adding or subtracting or any of that. The things that I know for sure or that chocolate, I'll call that CH, that the shop, some kind of ice cream parlor, ice cream shop, sold 12,789 cones. Okay. That's just of chocolate. Cookie dough, I'll call that CD, just so I can distinguish them or tell them apart later, was 9,324 cones. That's how many kind of cookie dough ice creams they had sold. And I'm not doing any math yet. I am just setting my problem up. Okay. And then the next part is when I got to figure out what math are they going to want me to do. So that's why I kind of stopped and I paused here. It tells me it's going to be 1,078 more peanut butter cones than cookie dough. Okay, so whatever cookie dough was, I'm going to add 1,078. So that's peanut butter. Again, I'll just call that PB, just to save space. Whatever cookie dough was, I'm going to add, because it said there's 1,078 more than the cookie dough. And I don't know what that answer is yet. That's one of the ones that I have to then go back and figure out. And then same thing for vanilla. Vanilla, which is far superior to chocolate. Okay, so I'll call that Van. Says they sold 999 more vanilla cones than chocolate. So whatever the chocolate is, I'm going to add 999. Again, I'm not worried right now about what the answers are. Sometimes, again, slowing down, taking your time, thinking a problem through, that's what I want to see. Someone who doesn't give up easily and someone who wants to learn and wants to be able to do it correctly. Not because I give you the answer, because you're able to eventually figure it out. It might be tomorrow, the next day, 2 weeks from now, in 5th grade, or whatever. Right? And then, what's my actual question? The question is, what was the total number of ice cream cones sold? So I know at the end, I'm going to add them all together. Chocolate plus cookie dough plus peanut butter plus vanilla. Okay, I'm not ready to do that yet because I don't know how much peanut butter and vanilla I had. Again, I'm just in my brain setting everything up. Like, and this is way too much information to try to keep in your head. Like, even Albert Einstein would be writing this down on a piece of paper or a personal whiteboard. So don't feel like you're not good at math because you needed a little help or because you got to write this down. I need a little help and I got to write it down. I have it all right here. Okay? So now that I'm all set up, now I'm ready to actually figure out how much peanut butter there is. Again, because I took a little note. I don't have to go back up. I wrote down all the important information. I didn't write like a big, long novel and a couple paragraphs. This is what that is. This is what that is. To find peanut butter, I take cookie dough and add 1,078. So I know my peanut butter. I know I kind of go backwards here, but this is kind of how I think in my brain. I know some of you are like, you're crazy. This is way too much work. Well, it's true. I probably am a little crazy. That's not the point right now. All right? Focus. Pay attention. Okay? I'm going to take how much cookie dough there was, and that's why my little chart is helpful. I'm going to take the cookie dough amount, and I'm going to add 1,078 to it. Because I'm nice and organized, I don't mix those up. I know for sure that cookie dough was this much. Okay. After I add 1,078, and this video is going a little long, so I'll do the math without you. Like I said, to save time, I just did it. Again, it's 10,402 cones. That's how much peanut butter cones they used. Again, it's just 4 plus 8, 12, and then 10, carry 4, 9 plus 1, 10. All right, and then I'm going to do the same thing for vanilla. I'm going to set that up, switch to blue. Okay, I know what to find vanilla, I need to add 999 to how much chocolate there was. So I'm kind of running out. I didn't really leave myself a good amount of space there. But I will do that. So through the magic of editing, I now have this problem set up, right? 12,789 plus 999. 9 plus 9 makes 18. Carry the 1. There's 10 and 8, 18 again. 1 and 9 makes 10 plus 7, 17. 1 and 2 is 3. And then 1 comes down to make 13. So this is how many vanilla cones they sold. So there's only one last step. Now I got to add chocolate, cookie dough, peanut butter, and vanilla together. And I will set that up and be back in a second. So again, right, you can see this is taking me like 20 minutes to do two problems. I know because part of this I'm talking to you and explaining things. Again, I have all this same information on here. And then I did problem 3 on here. And yes, my clipboard does say Mr. Flaherty rules. Factual, what can I say? Okay. Again, you can tell on here I actually almost made a mistake. I wasn't paying attention and I almost put peanut butter in as 1,078. And luckily I caught myself and I said, nope, because I had my nice chart. I said, oh, wait, peanut butter was 10,402. And I was able to switch it before I started adding to fix it. I know I just showed you the answer. Okay, let's check and see how I did. 9 plus 4 makes 13. 13 plus 2 makes 15. 15 plus 8 makes 23. So just like when we get like 12, the 1 goes down, the 2 goes down, the 1 carries. When we get 23, the 3 goes down, and the 2 carries because it was 20. 2 plus 8 makes 10. 10 plus 2 makes 12. Plus 0 stays 12. Plus 8 is 20. So again, we're carrying a 2. We have kind of 4 numbers there we're adding. 2 plus 7 makes 9. 9 plus 3 makes 12. 12 plus 4 makes 16. And 16 plus 7 makes 23. And again, we're carrying a 2. 2 plus 2 makes 4. 4 plus 9 makes 13. 13 plus 3 makes 16. Now we're just carrying a 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. Okay? And again, I have my nice sentence written on here. The shop sold 46,303 ice cream cones. Sometimes I kind of yell my students that, like 46,303 what? Ice cream cones. Who sold that? The shop. Okay? Like who, what, and how much. All right. I'm not going to do question 3 with you. Again, some of you are just going to be like, ha, you just gave me the answer. Thanks. And I want you to know how to do it. I don't care if you can put the numbers 46,303 in a giant box. All right. That's not really the point of math. It's about learning and getting better at things.